top hats and mutton shoes, erotic Kintas midnight cruise, Berlin Gay Society in 1903. Sigmund Freud's Vienna's hype identifies the homo type, the intermediate sex, and heterodoxy. The gay wave moves across the sea, hello there Miss Liberty. Betty Boop is hot and hooches out in the cold. Greenwich Village, Bloomsbury, gays in high society. Harlem Night, Chicago fights, Leopold and Lowell. Pride, gotta have pride. Better run too long to keep it inside. Pride gets it back and watch from the side. Pride is power and power is pride. It's time to celebrate all the colors of the rainbow. Get out into the streets, follow the tide.
Hi, I'm Brian McNaught, and this is Stonewall Portraits, Profiles, and Pride. Half an hour interview with people who in our movement have made significant contributions to the lives of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. And it's my real treat tonight to have with us John Waters, whose name itself is iconic.
Thank you.
Who told me last year at this time that when I asked him that I've said everything that needs to be said, I've answered every question, there's nothing new, so I appreciate you spending this time with us.
I'll try to say something new.
No, John Waters, it's impossible that you don't know about him, but if you're pretending not to, John Waters produced, he is the producer-director of Hairspray, the movie 1988, starring one of his best friends, Glenn.
I never called him Glenn. It was Divine.
Milstead,
Glenn,
also known as Divine. Well, you know, I read in it. Well, going on. Also did got his first camera at age 16 from his grandmother, an 8mm, and made his first movie at age 19.
I think I was younger than 19. Maybe I was a senior in high school. That's like 17, isn't it?
Well,
it was 64, so
yeah.
I was, what's that? 19, that is right. That's right.
It was Hag and Black.
That's when it came out. I guess I showed
Oh,
the year
all
before.
right.
Yeah,
So-
Hag in a black leather jacket.
And does voiceover in movies. Is a movie actor, has been in a variety of films, a variety of television programs, is an artist himself, is a curator of art, an author, has a new book out about his journey, but has produced a large number of films. But John, if you died today,
Yep,
the lead of the New York Times obituary would be what?
Pink Flamingos.
Pink Flamingos over Hairspray.
Yes.
Why?
Because it is more notorious. Well, yeah, that's a good question. I probably think Pink Flamingos they'd be in the same sentence. They'd say from Pink Flamingos to Hairspray. Even if I discover the cure of cancer before I die, that will come first.
I think so too.
Because they're still playing. They're like, you can't kill them. They've been out, Pink Flamingos has been out. The kids that are seeing today weren't even born when I made it. So it has lasted. It hasn't gotten nicer. It hasn't gotten easier. And I guess it was kind of a punk rock movie before there was punk rock.
You were way ahead of your time.
I didn't do it on purpose.
No.
I just made the film. We were angry hippies.
You're right. You wanted to make the trashiest film you could come up with. Is that right? Was that
yes,
described that
but
one?
it was an art film. No matter what, it was a trashy film for art theaters. My movies did the very best in the most expensive, well-educated neighborhoods, and when we played them in real exploitation movies, they died. So they were exploitation films for art theaters.
When you were little, and you were in school, were you at any athletics at all?
Never. I was right field, and I wrote about it in role models. I just sat there and I wouldn't pick up the ball. I didn't
Please
care.
don't hit it to me. Please don't hit it.
No, I didn't even say please don't. You pick it up. I'm not playing.
All right.
And I went to bat and I just stood there, either walked or struck out. There was no thing.
Did you have to play, or did you
Yeah.
join the? Oh, you had to play. All right.
No, I didn't join.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you an outsider when you were growing up? Did kids, if you had classmates today that talked about you in 5th grade,
Yeah.
how would they
The
describe
funniest
it?
thing, the one guy I went to grade school with said that I would have been the first person that ever got laid, and he meant to a girl. So that's how wrong they were.
Oh, he did? Now, why did he say that? Were
I
you a
guess he
man
thought-
about? Were you
I was like,
cat about?
I never got hassled in school, really, because the people that would beat me up, even if they thought I was gay, knew I hated authority more than they did, so I was safe.
So you would be
I was
more
more of a
inclined.
rebel.
So you
Yeah.
would be more inclined to do something outrageous in retaliation than they would?
No, I hung out with the people. I hung out with the bad boys, kind of.
Okay.
And they might have thought I was, I'm sure they did think I was gay. But, I mean, I'm not saying never did I get gay hassle, but I didn't really care at the time because I didn't fit in with anybody.
Would you describe yourself as a masculine teenager or an effeminate?
No, neither, I think.
Neither?
I was a hippie, and then I was a yippie. I was a yippie. I was at radical revolutions with Abby Hoffman and for the revolution and going to riots because it was the best place to pick up people.
But
I love to pick up men at riots. It was really easy.
It was a riot. When
Yeah.
did you acknowledge to yourself that you were gay?
Always. When I was 8,
11
when I
is the
first saw
okay.
Elvis Presley, I knew I was.
Okay.
When he was twitching and everything, I
Right,
thought, oh
there's-
my God, what is that?
Then parents were right.
Yeah.
If we allow that man on television,
right.
it's going to be
Yeah.
the corruption of American
And I
youth.
heard my parents say that I think he must be an odd duck. I guess they accepted it.
Yeah.
They didn't like it, but they accepted it.
Were
and
you-
my parents have been very accepting, considering the hell I put them through.
Are
know.
your parents alive?
My mother is. My father died at 91, about 3 years ago.
Okay. And are you an only child?
No, I'm the oldest, and there's 4.
Okay. And
There was 4. My younger brother died of a brain tumor.
I'm sorry. So the kids are you close? Your
Yeah,
family members
yeah,
close? And how do they feel about?
I'm their crazy brother now. I'm their famous crazy brother. So
Did
I
you-
get along with them fine. They were all in my movies at one point. One of them was in Mondo Trasha. The other one was in Roman Candles. My brother, before he died, ran my father's company that I was supposed to run.
Which
But
was a fire alarm,
Yeah,
yeah.
But he would come down and collect the money when we were doing the movies because I thought I'd get robbed or somebody. So it was similar to my father started a little business. I did too. I just had a very different product. But I always hated school because I knew what I wanted to do. That's why you go to school, to figure out what you want to do.
When did you know what
I
you
knew
wanted?
what I wanted to do, but they wouldn't let me.
You
in
wanted to
junior-
do film.
Well, it'd be an entertainment. I was a puppeteer for children's birthday parties when I was 12 years old. I had 3 jobs a week for $25 a shot. That was a lot in 1956.
But the puppet shows that you did weren't traditional
they
puppet shows.
were in the beginning, kind of.
They were?
Well, I had Punch and Judy, which had violence in it.
Yeah.
And Cinderella, which probably spent more time on the stepmother and stepsisters than Cinderella, but still, they liked it. I mean,
Well,
the parents hired me. There wasn't any controversy.
You love the Witch and the Wizard of Oz.
I loved The Witch and the Wizard of Oz. I loved the stepmother. I liked all the villains. They were better parts.
Why do you think that
They're
is?
better parts. You remember them more.
Yeah.
The ingenue, just like high school. Who remembers the ingenue in high school?
Did you
Their
identify-
life is downhill the day you graduate.
Did you identify with them at all?
The ingenue?
No.
Oh.
The stepmother.
Yeah,
the
I always wanted
witch,
to be a
the-
Disney villain.
Okay, so
Yeah.
did you imagine wanting to be the outsider growing up, that you would ever achieve the status that you've got today?
Yes, I was an ambitious kid. I got variety when I was 12. I'm not saying that when I was 12 years old, I pictured being on the stage or any of that. I didn't picture myself being 30 when I was that
Right,
age.
right.
But I was not an idiot savant. I was on Howdy Doody. My parents took me on when I was about 8, which was really hard to get a kid from Baltimore. It was a huge, biggest hit national television show. And I saw it was all a fake and it was a lie. And from then on, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in on it. I wasn't disillusioned as a child that it was fake. I wanted to be in on it, to fake out other people.
Okay,
So I was not disillusioned, and I knew what I wanted to be. And the filmmaking thing, I was lucky, because right when I was about 16, Underground movies came out.
Right.
And Bohemia was always my beat. It still is.
Did you ask your grandmother for the camera, or did she
No,
intuitively know that you
She
should have
knew
it?
the kind of movies I was going to make. She wouldn't have given it
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
No, but they were supportive. I don't remember if I asked her for it or
Did your
not.
grandmother ever see Pink Flamingo?
No, neither did my parents, and they paid for it, and I paid them back.
They
With
did pay
interest, they
for
got
it.
all their money back.
Yeah, but they did put the money up for
Yes,
you
they
to
did.
do it.
Yep.
That's a lot of trust.
But they got it all back. too.
Yeah, I know, but-
and I
but-
was very touched when my dad died. We went through the safety deposit box, and there was the old things from 30 years ago where I sent $100 a week, and he would cross it off, and he saved it. So it was amazing. I'm lucky that your parents grow older, and you grow older. You have time to work out everything.
Right.
If they die young or you die young, you don't have time sometimes
Right.
because we had great battles when I was young. All people.
What would you bad battles
Oh,
about?
I mean, I had long hair. I was took on LSD. I mean, everything.
Oh,
There
you
was-
did?
Oh, I loved
You
LSD.
colored outside the lines from.
I'm-
You had no worry
I'm
about
here
being
today
the best
because of
in Illinois.
LSD. I'm pro LSD. And my parents
Yeah.
said, "Don't tell young people that."
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, it didn't
No,
hurt me. You know,
right.
I don't certainly would hate it if somebody told me that they just gave me LSD now. I think,
Right.
oh my God, it
You're not
lasts
ready
so
for it.
long.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'd be ready for just whap, 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 whap. It takes too long.
Is this Little Richard?
Well, I had it when I was 19, and I'm 65 now, so that's, I don't even realize I have it, but
You had it when
it
you were
was
19.
Little Richard. Yeah, I grew it when I was 19.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
In the research, it said
Yeah.
that Little Richard was your idol.
Well, I wrote a huge chapter in Role Models
All
about
right.
him.
Well, I
and when
haven't
we
read.
met-
I'm sorry, I haven't
Okay.
read. So
All
then
right.
you interviewed him, and it said that the interview didn't go
Well,
as
that's
well.
the whole chapter in my book. It
All right.
didn't.
Why?
It
What
didn't
happened?
go.
What's the name
well,
of the book? Remind us.
Role Models.
Role Models. Okay.
And it didn't go so well because he had written a biography that had just come out where he said outrageous stories about being in threesomes with Buddy Holly and being a watch queen and like sending people turds in the mail, which I thought we did that too. In Pink Flamingos, we had something in common, mailing bowel movements to enemies.
Right.
But then when I would ask him about that, he would get uptight because he also was a preacher. And Jet Magazine, and he said well, he didn't. So he did. He has two separate lives, and he still does.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want them to know about each other. But I was interviewing him for Playboy. I wasn't coming from the Christian
Right,
Science
right,
Monitor,
right.
and he had just turned Jewish.
Did you-
So to me, and he said, well, I couldn't leave the room with the tape, and I saw his bodyguard, who I could have beaten up. So.
Did you grow up in a religious family?
No, my mother was Catholic, but a very sensible Catholic, and my father was not. So
Did he go to church at all? your
yes.
dad?
No, my dad went to Episcopal church up the street once in a while, you know. But so I had to go to Sunday school where they were really mean to you because they knew your parents didn't send you to Catholic school, and in grade school they didn't, so they were really hateful. I mean, they would be arrested today for the kind of shit they did. I mean, telling your parents are going to go to hell when you're 8, you know, that's a religious
I
training.
got
you know.
that, but I was, this is where we
It gave me the
we were
rage why I
different.
made Pink Flamingos.
I was the good boy, and
Yeah.
you would have scared me if you would have been 2 years ahead of me in school,
Yeah.
and you you were what I would love, that part of me that would love to have been, but I was this Irish Catholic,
Yeah.
and so here we are all these years later, and there's a little piece of me that's still intimidated.
Well,
But-
that's okay because although I think my films are very friendly, actually, I don't think they're threatening.
Well, Hairspray.
But
I
Hairspray.
adore.
Yeah,
Well, I
but-
adore
yeah,
Hairspray.
okay. So the thing that happened to me later is we were talking about, you were the type that could have been a victim
Of
of
you?
child abuses.
Yeah.
No, priests that were child abusers.
Oh no, I was abused
Okay.
as a
So
child.
what happened to me, I wasn't. And then in
Okay.
my school, they caught this one that did it for 20 years. So all the kids that were abuse victims called me up for help. And I said, they didn't fuck me. I was even rejected by the child molesters. Should I feel good about that or bad? I don't know.
Why do you think you were?
Because
You were
I
too
wasn't-
savy?
No, I wouldn't have put up with that shit.
Okay.
They weren't going to. You weren't
So
going to.
you were your own person as a kid.
I was.
Did you
I'm
you
not
have
saying
role models?
I was without. Yeah, the whole book is my role models. Little Richard, Captain Hook, Patty McCormick in The Bad Seed, Dagmar. I mean, everybody has role models. But what I'm saying was, I'm not saying I was this fearless kid that didn't go through lots of changes, but I never wanted to be like everybody else. That saved my life. I didn't want to be that.
Huh.
I read Tennessee Williams and I knew about Bohemia, and still it's the world I live in.
Who did you get that from? Which either
Life
parent?
magazine.
Either
no.
parent? No.
Life magazine. I went and stole the book at the library because they wouldn't give it to me.
Yeah.
Because I was a kid.
Life magazine.
No, Tennessee Williams.
Oh, Tennessee Williams. Okay. Can we talk about Divine?
Sure.
How old were you when you two met?
17.
And he was a year older than you.
We were born the same. I think
He
he
was-
was 9 months older.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Same time.
Yeah.
He moved with his parents, who ran a nursery school. He was the only child I always joked he was the girl next door, but it was maybe about 7 houses away.
And you were best friends at.
No, we weren't best friends. I met him. In the beginning, I met him through a girl that used to gamble with pimple medicine for him. They would gamble, and he would never went out of the house. He was like a fat kid in school that was really bullied. Got beat up. The teachers.
He
were
was
mean to-
wealthy. He came from
No,
a
he
wealthy
wasn't
family.
wealthy.
No,
No, middle class.
Okay.
His parents ran a nursery school. You know,
The
a
bios
small
are
nursery
wrong.
school.
Right.
Yeah, and he was incredibly hassled in school. He never left the house till he was 17. He had to do his mother's hair every night. I said he was hairdo abused. And then when he left, that great anger that he did have boiling underneath it turned into Divine. I used that anger.
You named
and
him
he used
Divine.
it. Yeah. And I never called him Glenn ever since, you know. And he hated it when people called him. They did it to try to be, to not. Does anybody call a movie star's name that they've changed their name and they think their real name? No. His mother even called him Divine at the end when they finally made up. And his
He
mother and
wanted
father.
to be. So he would be offended if he was sitting here alive and I
Yes.
called him Glenn.
Offended, he would just think, why? That's not who he is.
Okay, I read.
What
something
all movie
on-
stars that became famous with their name, that is their name.
Right. Okay.
Even if you change your name in your real life because you don't like it, do you want somebody to bring that up?
No, and if I was transsexual, I wouldn't want
He's
the
not
earlier
trans.
name.
You're
No,
very
I know.
wrong if
No,
you
no,
think he was
no. I said
transsexual.
if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was. Yeah, I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about him. He
He
said
was-
he was not transsexual.
He was never in drag except when
No,
we
no,
made the
no.
movies. His last part was playing a man, and before he died, the next morning he was supposed to start on Married with Children playing a man.
And he wanted to play a
He
man.
wanted to play both. He wanted to
Yeah.
play the dog.
Right.
He wanted to play every part.
When did you first initiate yourself or be initiated into actually having sex as a gay person?
Oh, unless I think you're going to ask me something else. As a teenager, in
In
normal
high school?
times, yeah.
And it was with another guy?
Yeah.
Okay. That, for me, again, pretty progressive because you were born in 1946.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know a lot of people who had gay sex in high school.
Oh, I did.
All right. So, did you have any gay role models growing up?
Tennessee Williams, William Burroughs, Allen Ginsberg, Beatniks,
Okay.
Bohemia, once again.
Okay, so
Hipsters today, same thing. That's the circle I like.
And that's the circle you're still in?
Yes.
When you do an art show today, there was just a piece in the New York Times,
Right.
and you curate a show, you want it to be really cutting edge, outside the
Well, I want it
box.
to be for everybody. You know,
Right.
I'm the opposite of a separatist. All gay life I hate just as much as all straight life. I am violently against separatism.
So what is your vision?
Everybody mixed.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be a gay section in a bookshop.
Should
I don't
there-
think there should the gay Olympics. What are we? Handicapped?
So do you not like the term gay?
No, it's fine to be gay. Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. No, I use the word gay all the time.
So
yeah.
it's okay to identify yourself
Sure.
as gay, but
I don't
you just
identify
don't.
my first as gay. I'm a filmmaker who's gay. I'm a
Uh-huh.
writer who's gay. I'm not a gay writer.
Right. Do you have a partner?
No, I've had them.
Yeah.
But partners, what do you mean? That sounds so
A spouse.
square. No, I will never have.
Boyfriend.
Even when I was in love, I didn't live with a person. I don't want anybody that would allow me to decorate my house and them have no say in it.
Yes.
That wouldn't be my type. And I'm never involved with people in show business. I'm always involved with people that are not at all they don't want to go to work with me. If somebody says they haven't seen my movies, it's like saying I love you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because they're not groupies. They're not, they like, they're
I've
not
on-
about that.
I've only seen Hairspray and,
Oh,
well.
but you've seen them.
No.
You wanted to interview me, so
I
that doesn't
do.
count.
I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
they're brilliant. But I saw Lust in the Dust, and
I didn't
thought,
make that movie.
Oh, I thought you did. Divine was in that
It
movie.
was the Tab Hunter, but Paul Bartel directed it. Tab Hunter produced
okay.
it.
See,
A
here
lot of
we
people make
go.
that mistake.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes, I've had
your
boyfriends,
best
yeah.
friends today are people who have no interest in your fame?
It's not the first thing they talk about. They know about it.
Mm-hmm.
My best friends are people that I've known for 40 years. My best friends are Pat Moran, who cast all my movies. We met. We had the same boyfriend. That's how we met when we were 16. We're still friends.
You met in 16.
When we were 16, I met Pat Moran, and we both had the same boyfriend, but now we're best friends. I'm like practically the uncle to her kids. I'm great friends with her husband. Dennis Dermody is my other longest time friend who I met up here, who ran the movie theater. He's gay, they're straight. Sexuality makes no difference about who's going to be my
Right,
friends.
right.
I don't pick friends because of what they do in bed.
What happens when you're on the bike in Provincetown and
I keep moving.
People want to talk to you?
They don't, because I'm nice to people, but if I stop the bike,
You
Then
answer the
it's-
same questions that you've answered over and
it's
over
like,
again.
I have to do all the cell phone, which I do.
Right.
But if I'm on my bike,
You want to be left alone.
I'm not saying that I'm hassled. I'm just saying on my bike it's easier for me.
Right.
Because I get to the place where I'm going and I go and, not like in a parade where you go downtown. That was a Tennessee Williams discovered play about Provincetown called Parade. And walking down Commercial Street every day, you are parading.
And how has that changed you from being the bad boy?
It hasn't. I mean, I'm not saying it. My life is. People come over and say something to me. I hardly can complain about that. I went into show business. What? I don't want to be recognized.
Right.
What's the point? I don't understand people that complain about. Now, cell phone cameras have changed. No one has privacy anymore.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
No one has privacy anymore because of cell phones, cameras. So. When you've been out off work at 1 a.m. at a bar, do you feel like doing pictures? No, but I do them because you have two choices. You say no, they say what an asshole you were the whole life. You say yeah, they're nice, and buy all your books. They're your customers.
What's next?
I got a million projects in development. I never talk about things that are almost going to happen. I have a TV show that might happen. I'm writing the next book. I have. I do my one-man show constantly.
Where?
I'm going to
Do you
11
do one
cities in
here in town?
Australia. I did it last summer.
Okay.
I have a Christmas show called The John Waters Christmas. I have 13 dates in December I'm doing. I live on the road. I just judged the Venice Biennale.
If you died today,
Yeah.
what is not done that you
Nothing.
really want to do?
Everything that I've
You're
ever been done.
completely happy.
Yeah. No, I didn't say it was complete. I'm saying I don't have a lot of unrealized burning messages that I'm trying to do. I've written lots of books, I've made movies, I've done art shows, my career's been understood and I've had a good life. If I died tomorrow, I hope I don't, but still,
I hope you don't.
I have done what I have been put on this earth to do, if anybody put me here, which I don't actually believe.
I don't either, but you have done what you wanted
Yes,
to do.
yes.
And the highlight of that would be what?
There's not one highlight. My career is like a
What are you-
growth stock.
what are you proudest
It
of?
goes like this. It goes up and down, and hopefully it keeps going. In the long run, stays
Right.
up. Oh, I think the nights I remember the most are maybe the first night I went to Pink Flamingos in New York, and there was almost no one there, and they said we could have it one more week, and we went back, and there was a line around the block from word of mouth. And Bob Shea, that was the head of New Line, said, "Your life just changed," and it did. When Hairspray, my movie, came out and crossed over to a much bigger audience, when the musical won the Tony Award. But there's many other nights that my personal nights in my life are not my show business nights. It's my good friends, or the night we were here, or people say, "Did you have fun making the movie?" Fun is when I'm off work.
Fun is when you're off
Yeah,
work.
not when I'm
So-
working. I have great memories. I'm serious about my career. I'm proud of it, but it's not fun.
It's not fun when you're making the movies
No.
that you really want to
I have
make.
to work 20 hours a day. I'm looking at budgets. Did I get the shot? No, it's incredible pressure. That's not fun to me. Fun's having a drink Friday night with your friends in some monster bar in Baltimore.
Can your friends stand? You're a strong personality. Do
Yeah.
your friends have to be equally strong, or when you're with
What
them?
kind of strong?
Well, and able to. I mean, you have been everywhere. You've been on stages with people
Oh, that
they'll
doesn't
never
matter.
meet.
That doesn't matter. Matter of fact,
Would you get
the
quiet
last
when you're
thing,
friends?
The last thing I feel like talking about is art. I know enough smart people. I don't have to talk about art in bed.
So when you,
I like
well,
closet queens.
Right.
Here's
Well,
what
we
I
were
like.
at a bar a minute
Here's
ago.
what I
We're in
like.
bed.
Closet queens. Blue collar closet queens. They don't want to go to the movies. They don't want to be in your movies. They don't want to go out to dinner. They just want to come over.
And when they come over, what do you
Yeah.
talk about? What are your
Oh, they make
interests?
me laugh. I have one that used to say, "I know when I'm rich, I'll buy you one of these blank paintings you like," which was such a sweet thing to say. It was minimalism, but he was right.
Would Hairspray change your life financially?
My life was changed financially, same thing, up and down. The thing I made the most money on probably was Hairspray, the musical on Broadway,
Right.
not the movie, not
Not
anything
the
else.
second movie.
No, I got a flat fee for that.
You got a flat
Yeah,
fee for
yeah.
that. The
The
musical.
further it gets away from you, the less you know.
Oh, is that right?
The musical, I bought my San Francisco apartment with, yes.
And that was pretty exciting.
It was
I
very
mean,
exciting,
too.
yeah.
And your folks and family.
But then we did Crybaby, and I think they did a great job of that, and it failed, even though we got 4 Tony nominations for that. It closed.
Do you like being at that level with films because you're
I
at,
can't get a film made right now.
because why?
Well, because, I don't know, because there's no $5 million independent films being made these days. It's all changed radically, the whole independent film business.
Because they don't make enough money? Is
Yeah,
it the same as publishing, that you're
Yeah.
not going to get a book published because?
Well, I got a book published, and I got a
Right,
great
no,
book,
you
yeah,
would,
yeah.
but the average person isn't going to because there's
Well,
not
the
going to
average
be enough
person
sales.
is never going to get anything done in show business, or else everybody in the world would be in show business, wouldn't they?
Yeah, what would you say to someone who wanted to be?
That a no is free. Keep asking, and it's not easy, and you're going to have hell in your life. And show business attracts the most insecure people. Why else would you go in a business that depends on the public telling you you're good for the rest of your life? People you don't know.
Do you like that crowd?
Which crowd?
This show business crowd?
Sometimes I would hate to live in LA because I don't know anybody that isn't in it. Sure, I have a lot of friends in show business, and I also have friends that are not one bit in show business.
Today's the anniversary of Stonewall Rebellion, June 28th.
I almost hoped that gay marriage didn't pass the other day when everybody was waiting at Stonewall. I'd rather go to a riot.
Yes.
I was hoping for a riot, but I'm happy that it passed, even
Yeah.
though I can't quite picture myself walking down the aisle no matter what. But I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I would never vote for a politician that was against it. Personally, I don't want to imitate a corny... I hate going to weddings, even
Yeah.
straight ones or gay ones. I've never had fun at a wedding in my life.
But what about getting married quietly in the backyard of somebody's home with only
I
you and the
personally
person
wouldn't
you
do
love?
that. I don't need to do that
Yeah.
with the person I love. And I would have owned 3 alimonies. Thank God they didn't have it when I was younger. That's what I tell you I want to invest in: tattoo removal and gay divorce. Somebody's going to make a lot of money.
Where were you on June 28th, 1969? Do you remember when Stonewall happened?
No. I mean, I remember it, but I had never hung out in Stonewall at that period of my life. In what year? 1969, in the summer, I was in Provincetown.
So do you remember any reaction to it?
Sure, I remember about it. I remember more because that was kind of like a hustler drag queen bar. Really, it was, certainly. It was not a bar filled with political
Right.
That's why it worked so much. It was an explosion. But later, when I would go to New Haven and go to Bobby Seale and Black Panther riots when gay speakers would come out, that's what I remember, and they were really brave because the left-wing men were really uptight about it. It was the lesbians in the left wing that started it, and then for a gay man to come out in left-wing 60s politics even Abby Hoffman was uptight. So that was who I remember. Jim Farrat really was brave. I remember him coming out, and I think he is my gay hero for doing that.
Jim Farrat?
Yeah.
Who?
He's gone on. He's owned a million nightclubs in New York. He's still around. He's
Okay.
Certainly been a gay radical for a long, long time. But I thought he was incredibly brave to come out, not in the gay world. That's easy. That's preaching to the converted. But to come out with Black Panthers and the left wing at New Haven when there's riots and people are running from tear gas, that's my kind of gay guy.
That's your kind.
Yeah.
And have you ever been in that position
Yes,
yourself?
I've been to riots a lot.
But as the speaker, as the
Once I
person
was
kind of-
on the steps of, where was it, in some city, of the end of the gay march when I gave a gay radical speech. I did. I tried to make it funny.
And
I said I felt like Angela Davis.
gay radical for you is what?
Well,
Today, what is gay radical today?
gay radical is saying that gay is not enough, and people have the right to come in too. I want some gay people to come in. I don't want them.
To come out?
No, I want them to come in. Go back in.
Oh, yeah.
They're so dreary,
Yeah.
And I hate straight girls that pretend they're gay to turn on a straight man. That's heresy.
That's
And I'm against that. And I say the girls in my college, make them do it.
Yeah.
Hetero flexibility goes both ways. See, I'm for it being so not cut and dry. Young people today, sometimes they're gay, and sometimes
Right.
they're not.
Right.
My exes, one of them's straight now. It depends.
So it's fluid.
Well, it isn't so. It's like racial on a form now. They don't have check your race, white or black. There's a lot more now.
And would you say you're fluid or?
Oh no, I'm not one bit fluid.
You're way
No.
down at the six.
Yeah, I'm the Kinsley 10
Kinsey
or 1,
six,
whatever it
six,
is. No,
six.
the end of totally gay. Yeah.
Beyond Kinsey.
But I really like women. I can't stand gay men that hate women.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot.
Well,
of
not young ones, just
No.
old ones.
John Waters, thank you so much
All
for
right.
this time. I don't know if you got asked a question
Sure,
you hadn't been asked
sure.
before, but it was great fun having
Thank you so much.
A hero to so many of us, and an icon, and somebody who has contributed an enormous amount to our community.
Gotta have pride. Been around too long to keep it inside. Pride. Can't sit back and watch from the side.